The iPhone SE is one of the most talked about smartphones of 2020 because it offers great value for an iPhone while packing a flagship processor. For 1,999 ringgit, it's supposed to be a good option for people who want to get into the Apple ecosystem, so who better to review this phone than an Android user such as myself? So let's see if the iPhone SE is what it's cut out to be. But before we get started, there will be a giveaway announcement at the end of this video, so do stick around to find out what you could be winning this time around. First off, the phone is tiny. 4.7 inches doesn't scream 2020 anymore. People nowadays like it when it's 6 inches, so something small may feel unsatisfying. I'm of course talking about media consumption, which is a big deal in 2020, and with this HD display, watching YouTube videos is okay, but scrolling social media and gaming are the big letdowns with this display. It isn't quite up to par with what we're used to nowadays, which is a 1080p screen. Aesthetics-wise, it's the same phone as the iPhone 8, but despite that, the design I think has stood the test of time. The product red color really makes the phone pop, it's got virtually no camera bump, it fits in the hand well, and in the pocket even better. There's also the alert slider on the side, something I wish more Android phones would implement. For imaging, it has a single 12MP camera, the same one that you'd find on the iPhone 8, but it functions more like on the iPhone 11 thanks to the neural engine. Daytime images are sharp and colors are natural. There's smart HDR that does improve dark and bright areas in a photo like this. The sky isn't overexposed, while everything else is bright enough to see. Autofocus also has never let me down. There's no telephoto lens, so a 5x digital zoom is all you get. At maximum, the pictures are pixelated and are not that usable. There's also no ultra-wide lens, which is bad in 2020 when so many mid-range smartphones already have it. There is portrait mode, which works well enough on objects. On human subjects, that's where it shines. There's good subject background separation, but the bokeh can eat up bits of hair if you really pay attention, but it is minimal. The phone also has a 7MP selfie lens, which also does well if fed enough light. The portrait mode is similar to that of the back camera and does chip away at the edges of the subject just a little bit, but overall decent shots. When it comes to night shots and low light shots, the iPhone SE struggles without night mode. Images lose their sharpness and there's noticeable noise. Night mode is something a mid-range phone should have in 2020, and it baffles me as to why it's not here. Thankfully, videography is good and gets you up to 4K at 60fps shots. You can also shoot at 1080p and 720p. There's decent image stabilization and, well, not much else to talk about it really, but it's good. So let's jump into hardware. The big hype surrounding the iPhone SE is that it packs an A13 Bionic chipset, the same one you'd find on the flagship iPhone 11. And yes, the phone performs great, it's snappy and responsive, multitasking is a breeze and games run well. With so much power, the iPhone's 1821 mAh battery may seem a bit small at first, but regular usage with media consumption gets me about 8 to 9 hours of battery life. But this phone is really not for gaming, as that significantly cuts the battery life. The phone ships with an abysmal 5W charger out of the box, which takes 2 hours to fully charge the phone. It does, however, support fast charging of up to 18 watts and wireless charging as well. When it comes to features, the fingerprint reader on this phone is good, but unfortunately there is no Face ID. It supports eSIM, which is the future of connectivity, which can also use to pair with your Apple Watch to make calls and send texts. It also has an IP67 dust and water resistant rating, which is nice. Then there's Siri, which works just as well as Google Assistant. And this brings me to its biggest selling point, iOS. That, along with the Apple ecosystem, is what sells the phone. This is currently running on iOS 13.5, and I like that it's surprisingly intuitive. I like the AirDrop feature to transfer files to any Apple device. It's quick and straightforward. You have iMessage, FaceTime, and iCloud, all useful features that work well within the ecosystem. You also get iOS updates for far longer, each bringing important improvements too. Now we come to the price. This is the 64GB internal storage model, and it's offered at a mouth-watering 1,999 ringgit. But realistically, you'd want at least 128GB of storage, which costs 2,199 ringgit, while the 256GB model is priced at 2,699 ringgit. It starts to get pricey. Here's where Digi, our sponsor for today, comes in. PhoneFreedom 365 offers an all-in subscription which gets you the phone plus data plan from a low 68 ringgit per month for 24 months. You can also get it with 0 ringgit upfront payment plus double the internet quota of up to 200GB per month. Visit Digi's website in the description box below to get the iPhone SE now. So at this point, I have to ask myself if the iPhone SE appeals to me as an Android user. The answer is yes and no. Yes, because I am ready to get into the Apple ecosystem, and the iPhone 11 is a little out of my price range. Well, like I mentioned, I like how intuitive iOS is and how it works well with just every other Apple device in the market. And for 1,999 ringgit, the iPhone SE looks like a value buy to make it your secondary smartphone just to try out the Apple ecosystem and iOS. And the part of me that says no, this does not appeal to me is because I can't make this my daily driver. Its lack of a better display, slow charging out of the box, low storage, and no Face ID makes it hard to consider. So for now, I will be sticking with my trusty daily driver, which is the Xiaomi Mi 9. And that brings me to 3 phones that I can think of that will be a better buy than the iPhone SE. The Xiaomi Mi 9, Mi 9T Pro, which both have flagship chipsets and better overall hardware, or the Samsung Galaxy A71, which lets you get into the Samsung ecosystem, better cameras, much nicer display for less than 2,000 ringgit. Alright, now comes the giveaway I told you about earlier. We've got 3 Spigen iPhone SE cases to give away if you decide to buy the phone after this review. My favorite is the Ultra Hybrid Black that is transparent on the back, which shows off the product red color, and the bumpers are sturdy too. If you want something light and classy looking, the Liquid Air case is your pick, but if protection is top priority, then go for the Slim Armor, which protects all parts of the phone. If you want to win any of these cases, visit our Facebook page and join the giveaway, which is happening today. But don't worry if you don't win the cases, we are still giving away discount vouchers which you can get the cases for cheap. The codes and the link to our giveaway is in the description box below. So let us know what you think about the new iPhone SE 2020. Let us know if you would get it or just get a better iPhone, or, like me, stick to an Android. Give us a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. This is Victor signing off. Bye bye.